We are exiting a parking lot, heading back onto a main road. We will turn onto the road when the coast is clear. And that point is now. We have the work zone ahead, orange sign. There's some construction on the left. As we head uphill on a double yellow line, 2-lane roadway, 1 lane for moving traffic in each direction. Several construction vehicles parked on the side of the road. A small shoulder, both on the right and the left. Proceeding with the flow of traffic. The car in front of us is slowing down. We have a 30-mile-per-hour speed limit. And apparently the car in front of us may be a little lost and looking for property. As we proceed through Montauk, Long Island, on our Journey Through the Hamptons video series for practicetestsdmv.com, showing you the basics, the road signs, traffic conditions, vehicle operation. We will be heading through the Hamptons once again on our journey. Right now, we are just going through a uneventful stretch of roadway. We have a car just turned onto the roadway into their own lane of travel. Weather is pretty clear, no rain, blue skies, good visibility. And we pass some no stopping signs. We're not permitted to stop on the side of that roadway, especially in the roadway, considering there's only 1 lane for moving traffic in each direction. It is a no passing zone based on the double yellow line in the center of the roadway. And we are coming to a junction in the road, Route 27, as well as a stop sign, ahead sign, with that arrow on top as we approach the intersection. And we are going up to the stop line, making a complete stop, and then proceeding left when safe to do so. We have an approaching van. That van has cleared. Now we can make the left onto the main roadway, which this roadway also has a double yellow line. There is no passing. There is shoulders on each side of the roadway. We just see our sign, the road curving to the right. We have a bike lane on that shoulder to the right. We have a deer coming ahead. Let's make sure that windshield is clear. Use that washer fluid if necessary. As we continue through the Hamptons. And traffic is proceeding. Now it's coming to a slowdown. We have a bicyclist on the right. The vehicle in front of us is very cautious. And this video is just meant to show you all the basics, the rules of the road, signs. Now we have a 55-mile-per-hour state speed limit sign. So we're going to be going to a stretch of mostly wooded area. We have several videos for you to view. We have a bicycle lane sign to the right, just advising drivers of that fact. We have some vehicles parked on the left of the roadway, look like some utility vehicles. Uneventful stretch of roadway. We have a restaurant to the right, many cars parked. So just keep a lookout for cars that jet out from the side of the roadway. And here comes a sign, another bicycle lane sign, just to remind you as we proceed down this double yellow line roadway. Keeping a safe distance behind the vehicle in front of us. We have some cones on the side protecting the utility trucks. That should give you a warning that there's possible work being performed. Now the vehicle is braking in front of us and has a left turn signal on. So we will slow down, prepare for the vehicle's turn in front of us. Apparently this vehicle puts on their signal well ahead of the turn, assuming they're even making a turn, because at this point it does not appear that they're making a turn. And we have another deer crossing sign. This is an area that is abundant with deer, so in those areas you always want to just keep an extra lookout, especially at night when the deer get blinded by the headlights and might just stop dead in its tracks. And now we have a passing zone. As we see the broken yellow lines, we have a bicyclist on the other side of the road in the bike lane. Only pass when it is safe to do so, when you could see that the coast is clear in the left passing lane. We have a 55 mile per hour speed limit. There's no need for us to pass. This vehicle in front of us is traveling at a good speed, so no need to pass unless absolutely necessary to do so. We have cones on the left, some barrels, construction barrels, and we are proceeding along the same roadway. We have the broken yellow lines, which permits passing. The traffic on the left side of the roadway the oncoming traffic has eased up, so if we did want to pass, that would have been the time, but not now because we have another group of vehicles approaching in the left lane. We are in a wooded area, 55 mile per hour speed limit, and we are keeping a safe distance behind the vehicle in front of us. Again, uneventful, dry conditions on the roadway, so it is safe to proceed up to the speed limit, subject to any changing conditions. This is a pretty boring stretch of roadway. And we're back to the double yellow line in the center of the two-lane roadway. So there is no passing in this particular area. And we still have the shoulders on both sides of the roadway. And we just saw a change of speed limit warning coming up. We had just passed moments ago, which tells us that the speed limit will be changing up ahead. So you could prepare for that by coming gradually down in speed. And another deer crossing sign. And here it is, 45 miles per hour. So the speed limit dropped by 10 miles per hour. We always want to be aware of those drops in speed limits because those are perfect locations for law enforcement to camp out and wait. Some might think it's a speed trap, but if they provide proper signage, then it is reasonable and legal. And it's still 45 miles per hour. We have a cyclist on the right shoulder in the bike lane. And of course, maintaining a safe distance behind the vehicle in front of us, and still 45 miles per hour on this stretch of roadway, which is mostly woods and residential in nature. A lot of reminders to keep that 45 mile per hour speed, possibly because the roadway was 55 mile per hour for quite a stretch. So they want to reinforce that in the mind of the drivers, and no parking on the pavement sign to the right. And looks like we're going to have another possible change in speed limit. We are continuing on this WL line marked roadway. A little more activity in this area, so we want to be aware of that. Now we have a sign roadway curving to the right, and there's another drop, 35 mile per hour. So you had two subsequent drops in speed, each 10 miles per hour. So we went from 55 miles per hour to 35 miles per hour in a stretch of about a mile. So again, always be alert for those speed drops to save you from a speeding ticket. And this area is more populated, more activity going on, so that is why we have a lower speed. And we are heading into the Amagansett area of the Hamptons, and we saw a roadway curve to the right sign. We saw a pedestrian crossing ahead, and here it is here. Now that you have the arrow right under the sign showing that you're there, so you want to proceed with caution. And we proceed. We have a post office to the right. We are heading down the roadway. We have a pedestrian crossing sign, which means it's approaching. There's a crosswalk approaching, and we will slow down. To the left, we have a left and right turn lane in the center of the roadway in the median. As we proceed, it's a busy area in this little area. Just a lot of stop signs, a lot of intersecting roadways coming from various directions. Now the speed limit is 30 miles per hour, so we went 55, 45, 35, and now 30. So we are in a more residential area. And we can see the bike lane sign, just reminding you there, fire department to the right. And we are proceeding along the same roadway. We are coming down to a more populated area. We see a school speed zone ahead sign on the right. So let's be mindful of the school zone, which will likely be accompanied by a lower speed limit. And there it is. We have a flashing yellow light accompanied by the school speed limit sign, which is 20 miles per hour when flashing, and it is flashing. We have the school to the left. We have another pedestrian crossing sign indicating that it will be coming up, which is near the school. And we have some activity by that school to the left. So we will proceed very carefully through this area. And we have some pedestrians coming from the left, and the vehicle in front of us did not want to stop. We will do so and let these people pass. Hello, hello. And we proceed through that crosswalk out of the school zone, but into some congestion. We're in the heart of the Hamptons. Okay, and we will just proceed slowly through this area. We have a bus stop on the right shoulder coming up. Looks like passengers are embarking, heading back to the city. The Hampton bus that shuttles people back and forth from New York City. So that's not holding us up. It's the congestion in front of us. And traffic is now moving again, albeit very slowly. We're going through the part of Main Street in this area of town. We are in Amagansett still, heading towards East Hampton. We have a crosswalk ahead sign as we proceed with caution. I think this traffic should let up momentarily as we get through this specific area. A lot of cars parked in the parking lanes on each side of the road. Here is the pedestrian crossing sign and the arrow, which means it's right then and there, as opposed to the sign without an arrow. And here's another one showing that it's right then and there, with the sign in the middle of the roadway that you should stop for pedestrians in the crosswalk. That is the law in this area. and in most areas. So we will proceed through this area. Traffic has opened up again. We now have a little increase from the 30 to the 40 mile per hour because we're out of downtown area. It's really the Main Street area as we proceed down the road. And on this double yellow line roadway on our journey through the Hamptons, teaching you road signs, rules of the road, and just general driving. And we must come to a stop. Roadway slowing down. And we'll pick it up in a second. There's just a little bit of traffic crossing over ahead of us. And people are pretty courteous when someone is on a side road without a light, and it's difficult to enter in this area because of the congestion. It's a lot of people are courteous, and you'll let these people in. You're not going to lose much time by doing so. And we continue through this residential area of the Hamptons, an area that is very woodsy, and the middle of the roadway has a painted median, meaning you should not go onto that area. Then we have a center turning lane for both directions of travel. So when you have a situation like that, you want to get into that lane at the last possible moment so as not to interfere with oncoming travel that moves into the lane in the opposite direction. And we continue along at a safe speed, of course, with the center turning lane for both directions. That has come to an end for now. We just saw a sign: vehicles over 9 feet 9 inches tall have to make a right and get off that roadway. Usually there's an overpass, or there's just certain restrictions, such as the construction of this roadway can't take a lot of heavy trucking or heavy traffic. As we head through the Hamptons, now we have another turning lane in the middle again. We have a bike lane sign. We want to be cognizant of those bikers, as well as the vehicles in front of us that could stop at any moment. We see the marked bike lane to the right on the shoulder, so we want to avoid that shoulder and stay in our lane of travel. And we are going through the village of East Hampton. And a little more congestion now at this point. And we have a 40 mile per hour speed limit in this area as we proceed through. And traffic is picking up again, the flow of traffic, that is. And we see a bunch of congestion ahead of us. And we have no parking from 2 to 6 a.m. on the town roadways. They don't want vehicles left overnight. Hence the sign. And we have some farm stands in this area as we slowly proceed through. And we are back to some congestion. And now we're at a complete stop behind the vehicle in front of us. And now we can proceed. And again, we should get through this area momentarily. And here we go. Through this area of congestion, and we are off. Still a little slow traffic ahead of us, That's par for the course in this area, especially during this season. We are eventually going to take a detour off this roadway, try a more open roadway without as much congestion. And we are continuing through the Hamptons. We have a red traffic light approaching. We'll make a complete stop. And let's proceed through the green light. We have turning lanes to both our left and right. Bicyclists on the right, speed limit 30, crosswalk. Road sign, the road is going to be curving towards the left. We have a left turn lane to the left of us. A lot of activity in this area. And here is the curve towards the left. As we proceed through the Hamptons on our journey through the Hamptons for practice tests, DMV.com. We have a green light and we will proceed. There was no U-turn, no left turn through this intersection as we proceed through it. And we're going through the town of, or the village of East Hampton's Main Street. And we have a pedestrian with a dog. We will let that pedestrian pass. Is that Steven Spielberg? No. Okay, as we proceed through, going through the downtown area, which is not much of a downtown, but it is in the Hamptons. So we continue through this residential. The right lane is coming to an end, so you want to, oh, we got a motorcyclist that veered right in front of us, so we got to keep an eye on those situations. We have another crosswalk coming up. Left turning lane to the left. Left do not enter sign. That is a one-way street. And we have some roadway town mileage signs, and we're going to make a right turn here. And we're on another roadway. We also have a bike lane. The roadway is going to be curving sharp right, and there's a crosswalk approaching. As we head through this area of the Hamptons, and 30 mile per hour speed limit here. We want to stay away from that FedEx truck. And another crosswalk ahead. Be mindful of that. Here it is. We have the sign with the arrow, so that means it's right then and there. And a bike lane sign. And we come to a conclusion of this video. Please watch our other practice tests, DMV.com videos on YouTube, and safe driving.